What's up, guys? It's Rain City MMA. Your boy Bryson here with
Joey.
And today we're breaking down UFC Houston, Sean Strickland versus Anthony Fluffy Hernandez. Don't forget, guys, we're picking a couple prelims to break down that we like, and then we're breaking down the full main card for y'all. We love y'all, and we're going to keep going. And we hit last week. Let's go back to back. All right, guys, the first prelim we're breaking down is a welterweight matchup between Phil Rowe and Jean-Paul Labazniani. In this one, Jean-Paul, he's going to be our first leg at minus 200. I just really like his style. Shows very clean technical boxing. He looked good in his Contender Series debut. Can mix up his wrestling when needed. Has amazing jiu-jitsu. He lands 9.71 significant strikes per minute on 78% significant strike accuracy. I know those numbers could be a little skewed because it was just his Contender Series fight. But I believe Jean-Paul, even at 9-2, 26 years old, I just think he has a lot of good experience here. And I think he's going to pull through for us with the first leg. Maybe win by sub, but I could also see just a dominant decision because Phil Rowe's tough to get out there. Phil Rowe has a nasty clinch game. Is good when he stays long using his 80-inch reach, but I just don't think he's going to be able to. I think Jean-Paul is going to be able to land takedowns, hold him down, and keep the fight in his area where he wants to win. Who do you got, Joey?
Yeah, guys, I'm also going Jean-Paul in this fight. You know, Phil Rowe, he's 4-4 in the UFC. He's one of the older guys on the roster. You know, he's 35 years old. He has also pretty bad takedown defense at 50%, and he doesn't do well at creating opportunities and like scrambles and whatnot, where Jean-Paul, he has high-level BJJ, and he mixes up his boxing combo super well with some real power in his hands. So I got Jean-Paul moneyline in this fight, and maybe on a long shot, look for a Jean-Paul knockout or sub in the late third. All right, guys, next up on the prelims, we got a bantamweight women's matchup between Nora Cornioli and Jocelyn Edwards. Cornioli coming in at a plus 240 dog, and Edwards at a minus 300 favorite. Guys, I'm breaking down Edwards first. She's been on a 3-fight finish streak. She's been looking amazing. She likes to mix in her wrestling, and she stays super long and uses her reach really well. I think on the Cornioli side, she has a sharp kickboxing style, but terrible takedown defense at 47%. So I think Edwards in this fight, I got to pick her. I just see any way for her to win. You know, she can get the hands going. She can mix in the wrestling and get her down and just have her way with her there. I got Jocelyn Edwards' money line in this fight. And on a long shot, give me Jocelyn Edwards KO second round. Who you got, Bryson?
So I'm also going Jocelyn Edwards, and she will be our third leg, or our second leg, my bad, at minus 300. Jocelyn Edwards, she's just showing big improvements in her boxing. I know the competition hasn't been great. I believe like Chelsea Chandler, Priscilla Cachoeira, you know, she stays long, uses her reach well, like Joey was saying. She likes to mix in her wrestling. She lands 4.73 significant strikes per minute on 53% significant strike accuracy. And, you know, these guys fought 2.5 years ago, and I thought for sure Edwards won the first fight. And it was in France, Nora's home country, and I think they kind of screwed her. Cornoli, she is the better kickboxer. Like, she has good striking. But I think Edwards is going to be too much for her. Cornoli is 36 years old. Edwards is 30. Edwards has more experience at 16-6. Nora is 9-3 in MMA. I'm just going to take the younger woman who I thought won the first time with the longer reach and more experience in the UFC. I just think she's going to edge out a decision here. I do think it will be tough because it's a rematch, but I think Jocelyn gets it done, and there's a reason they're letting her get her lick back here because they know she probably won that first one, but this time, let's get her on a 4-fight win streak. Let's go. All right, guys, this is the last prelim we're breaking down. We got a flyweight matchup between Alden Correa and Luis Garule. Alden Correa is coming in at minus 275. Garule is plus 225. You know, Garule, he's fought Ode Osborne, Jesus Aguilar, and, you know, those guys are decent. But Alden Correa had to step up and fight Alexander Costa, Diego Lopez, and Garasso's teammate. 10 out of 14 of his fights haven't gone the distance. He has a high fight IQ, sharp technical boxer. Not to mention Korea is the hometown guy at 4 Ounce Fight Club with Joshua Van, Michael Aswell, the Houston kid. Great takedown defense at 75%. I know Costa had a little success early, but Korea started reversing those. He has really good offensive grappling. Garule, he just gets stuck in the mud at times. Bad takedown defense at 56%. He lands 4.93 significant strikes per minute on 42% significant strike accuracy. He does train in Colorado with Roy Val in them. So I know he has good cardio, but I don't know. He hasn't won a fight in the UFC. I know that he's had some tough comp. But I did pick Osborne when he was like a plus 200 dog last year, guys, and he knocked him out. I just think Alden Korea, he's going to have the longer reach, be the taller guy. I think he's going to edge out a close decision. I think Garule is still a little game, but I just think it's Korea's time, and he's going to rep Houston and Texas on Saturday night and win this one. He also will be our third leg at minus 275. So Jean Paul at minus 200, Edwards at minus 300, and Korea at minus 275. Who do you got, Joey?
Yeah, guys, I also got Korea in this spot. All I really need to say about Garule is he hasn't won a fight in the UFC. He's 0-2, and he lacks any type of feint game. Like Bryson said, he doesn't have very good takedown defense, pretty shaky there. He does have decent offensive grappling, but not as good as Korea. Korea is definitely going to cancel that out and be the stronger man when it hits the mat. His takedown defense, Korea's, is 75%, so I don't see Garule getting him down either. So I'm picking Korea in this spot. I think he wins, however. I don't think he's going to finish him, though. I think more of a decision, like Bryson said. So I got Korea money line and Korea decision in this spot. All right, guys, opening up the main card, we got a welterweight matchup between Jacoby Smith and Josiah Harrell. Jacoby Smith at a minus 300 favorite and Josiah Harrell at a plus 240 dog. Guys, Jacoby Smith, he's a beast. 9 out of his 11 wins come by finish. Constant chain wrestling, and he lands 7.42 takedowns per 15 minutes on a 90% takedown accuracy, which is absolutely insane. On the Harrell side, he has good control when on the ground and pretty decent wrestling credentials. He is a southpaw striker, though. I think Jacoby Smith in this fight at minus 300 is like, give me odds, honestly. He has great offensive grappling, and I just see a way for him to win an easy decision or maybe even a finish if Harrell puts himself in a vulnerable spot. I think Jacoby Smith will snatch that up real quick and find a way to win here. So I got Jacoby Smith money line and maybe Jacoby Smith decision on a long shot. Who do you got, Bryson?
So I didn't know the odds at the time of this recording, but I think Jacoby Smith only being at minus 300 is a steal. Another thing I'd like to add is he's training with DC now. So I think his wrestling's already really good, but now that Daniel Cormier's helping him out, I think he's going to be even better. He also has some nasty ground and pound. 100% takedown defense, by the way. No one's ever taken him down. Great offensive grappling. He lands 6.21 significant strikes per minute on 66% significant strike accuracy. Josiah, he's 11-0, 10 out of 11 fights come by finish. Got some decent power in hands. Don't know what to expect, though, with the short notice. You know, this is getting made 3 days ago. So I think it's going to be tough for Josiah, but the odds makers kind of believe in him with it not being too wide. But I'm going to go Jacoby Smith here. He's also a kid from Texas, so fighting in his hometown, I think he's going to edge this one out. Probably get a finish second or third round, but this one's going to be exciting to open up the main card. All right, guys, next up we got a heavyweight matchup between Sergey Spivak and Anti Delia. Delia's coming in at minus 150 and Spivak is plus 125. This is a really good heavyweight matchup. Two guys who kind of are in the similar career paths right now. But I'm going to have to lean Delia. If it wasn't for the eye poke against Waldo, he would have finished Waldo, and that would have been huge. He has good fluid movement, very light on his feet. He lands 4.81 significant strikes per minute on 45% significant strike accuracy. Times his takedowns very well. I like Delia a lot here. Spivak, you never know what you're really getting with him. He's either really good, uses his wrestling, or he fights to kind of his opponent, like what they want to do. There will be a big weight disparity. Spivak's probably going to come in bigger here. So if he can get D'Elia down, it will be something. But I don't know. Spivak has good offensive grappling, very heavy on top, good control. But I'm going to lean D'Elia here at minus 150, and I actually think that's a decent price for him. Who do you got, Joey?
Yeah, guys, I also got D'Elia here. Spivak, like Bryson said, he's going to have that weight discrepancy. So if he does get on top, he does have some pretty good top control. But his significant strike defense is super poor, guys, at 50%. He has fought pretty good, elite competition in the UFC, Spivak, but D'Elia, like Bryson said as well, he could have won that fight and honestly probably should have against Waldo. That was just honestly crazy. Never seen that in the UFC ever. He starts off super stiff, and then later he kind of gets more fluid and fast with his shots. He has very good speed at heavyweight and has great fight IQ. And I think at minus 150, that's a steal for D'Elia. So I'm taking D'Elia moneyline in this fight, and maybe D'Elia KO if Spivak just tries to shoot and shoot and shoot and still doesn't get anywhere. So a late KO for D'Elia or moneyline. All right, guys, we got the featured fight of the evening, a featherweight matchup between Dan Ige and Milkizao Costa. Costa coming in at a minus 225 favorite and Ige at a plus 185 dog. Guys, Ige, he times his counter super well. He does have poor takedown defense, but he's fought, some pretty great guys for a long time in the UFC. Costa on the other hand, throw some nasty kicks to all levels. He'll switch it up from like leg kicks to the body, throw some straights, and then when you least expect it, throw a head kick. 5-fight win streak with 3 finishes. Costa has looked great. Shows to have a really good clinch game as well and high-level jiu-jitsu. I got Milkizao Costa in this fight. I just think Ige is a little too old and overstepping his reach. He is a tough guy, so I don't think he'll get him out of there. But I got Costa moneyline and maybe Costa decision. But if you're feeling crazy, maybe play the finish just because he's getting older. Who you got, Bryson?
Also give me Costa here. I know Dan Ige is kind of the gatekeeper of the featherweight division. If you can beat Ige, you get to the rankings. If not, you're going to go back below. Costa's on a 5-fight win streak, 3 by finish. And knocking out Morgan Charrier that last time, that's insane. Morgan doesn't get finished, so that was super impressive. Like Joey said, good clinch game. He's good at holding you against the cage, getting work done. He lands 1.93 takedowns per 15 minutes on 38% takedown accuracy. It's not great, but he chain wrestles a lot too sometimes when he knows that's a weakness in your game. Ige throws some nasty body shots. He has good boxing combos. He doesn't pressure enough in fights, though. I know that sounds crazy because people think of him as this pressure fighter, but he lets moments get away. He's not a good minute winner at all, and I think Costa can take advantage of that. And I'm going to say he wins on the scorecards or maybe a late round finish if Ige's trying to go for it and he knows he's down 2-0. But Ige also has 45% significant strike accuracy. He's not this crazy guy. So I'm going to go Costa here, and I think he's the bigger guy too at 5'10", Ige 5'7". Same reach, but I think keeping him at a distance in a kickboxing range, he'll be able to pull off a decision.
All right, guys, the co-main event of the evening, a welterweight matchup between Uros Medic and Jeff Neal. Uros Medic at a plus 160 dog, and Jeff Neal coming in at a minus 190 favorite. Guys, Medic, he comes out super aggressive in the first round and has super poor defensive grappling. On Jeff Neal's side, he's fought elite comp like Shavkat, Prates, and Ian Gary. He times his counter punches super well, and his takedown defense is pretty great at 87%. Medic, I don't think he'll really take it there because he knows Jeff Neal's a little bit better than him. But Medic doesn't really have the best fight IQ. So in this one, I'm going to take a little shot in the dark, and I'm going Jeff Neal. I think he's going to he said he's been battling substance abuse for the past couple years, and he's sober now, and he's coming in, and I think he might it might benefit his gas tank and overall just, mindset for this fight. So I got Jeff Neal moneyline and maybe Jeff Neal finish on a long shot. Who you got, though, Bryson?
It's a tough one, Medic can come out very aggressive, like Joey said, and maybe knock him out. But like Joey said, he's been sober. Neal says he's getting closer to God. And I tend to like believing in those people. and see them at their best. Neil lands 5.05 significant strikes per minute on 51% significant strike accuracy. He has an excellent gas tank. Like Joey said, has fought great competition. Good feint game. This is a hometown fight for him too, guys. He trains out of Fortis MMA. He's going to be in Texas already. Just has to probably drive a couple hours. I mean, Texas is huge, And Medic, he's got to travel. Got to cut the weight. He's a little bigger than Neil. Neil doesn't have a problem at 170. Medic has never gone the distance and only has been to the third round once in the UFC, guys. I mean, that's crazy. Doesn't really have a great fight IQ. I mean, yeah, he has good striking and comes out early, but if it goes the deep waters, I think Neil kills him in the round 2 or round 3. But I think Medic is live round 1, so if Neil can get out of round 1 here, I'm taking Neil, but I wouldn't be shocked if Medic got him out there. But I'll lean Neil at minus 190, but I'm not mad at you if you take the dog money with Medic. It's going to be a real fun fight. A great fight for co-main, and doing Neil a favor, putting him in his hometown as the co-main. All right, guys, we got the main event of the evening. Great middleweight matchup. Whoever fights puts themselves in a real good position to fight for the title. We got Sean Strickland versus Anthony Fluffy Hernandez. Hernandez is coming in at minus 285. Sean Strickland plus 230. I'm going to lean Hernandez here. I know Strickland does have the tools to beat Hernandez, but I just don't think he'll implement the game plan. He's also catching Strickland at a good time. We've been seeing Strickland really struggle with the weight. He's been a lot bigger in training because he always posts his Extreme Couture. Anthony Hernandez puts a grueling pace on his opponents. He's the Marab of middleweight, really good offensive grappling. He lands 6.46 takedowns per 15 minutes on 48% takedown accuracy. He just comes at you nonstop. He'll throw punches, boom, shoot. Come up against the fence, push you, boom, 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 shoot. Sean Strickland, we know what he does. He's going to pop out a clean jab, throw some teep kicks. Say he's going to put the pace on you and go into a war. He never really does. His best work's in the pocket. He hasn't fought in a year as well, guys. And I think people are forgetting Sean Strickland's last fight was against Paulo Costa. Yes, Costa got a win, so people will be like, well, it aged well. But come on now, Paulo Costa is like the least inactive middleweight on the roster. He just pulled out, and now he's fighting at light heavyweight, by the way, his next fight. So clearly Paulo's done there. And, I mean, Sean took him 5 rounds. I get Sean's tough. He hasn't been finished by DDP in their last 2 fights, too, which was 50 minutes in the octagon together. So I actually think Fluffy will win by decision, but Sean will turn it up late. Who do you got, Joey?
Yeah, guys, this is going to be a super fun fight. I love Fluffy Hernandez, and Strickland, he is a good fighter, but I just don't think he's real dangerous, honestly. Like Bryson said, he's been 5 rounds twice with DDP, and I mean, yeah, that shows something for your chin and work ethic and whatnot, but I mean, he just pops out a super clean jab and just throws a ton of volume. Those teep kicks are always there for him, but he's fought crazy elite comp, an excellent gas tank. Hernandez, though, I think that cancels out. His gas tank is way better than Sean Strickland's. He's also younger by 2 years, and Fluffy's also fought some elite comp. Roman Dolidze, everybody I saw on like Twitter and stuff saying, oh man, Dolidze is going to run through Hernandez. Well, I mean, I don't even think he won a minute in that fight, if I'm being honest. He finished him in the late 3rd, early 4th.
And Brendan Allen, look how good that age.
Yeah, exactly. He finished went to a decision with Brendan Allen. And I mean, Brendan Allen made RDR quit. So, and I watched that firsthand. He's also on an 8-fight win streak. His boxing and how he mixes up his wrestling with his boxing is insane. Throws nasty knees in the clinch. And he lands 4.59 significant strikes per minute on a 62% significant strike accuracy, which is insane. Strickland, he does have pretty good takedown defense at 76%, but a lot of his fights, like Paulo Costa, like Bryson said, and DDP, they were more stand-up fights. I think Hernandez finds a way to get it to the ground here and have his way with Strickland. He knows Strickland has a little bit of wrestling pedigree, but he's not going to be able to use it at the same degree that Fluffy Hernandez will. So I got Anthony Hernandez in this fight. And honestly, give me Anthony Hernandez decision. I think Sean will last for a while. and I don't know if he's going to get him out of there because he is tough. But I got Hernandez money line and Hernandez decision in this fight. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to Rain City MMA. We hope you love the breakdowns and the new way we're doing it. We appreciate all your likes, subscribes, all the support, every comment. We got a 3-leg parlay cooked up for you now. John Paul Lesbiani, minus 200, a.k.a. JPL. Jocelyn Edwards at minus 300. And Alden Correa at minus 275. Lock those in, and we'll see you at the cash counter. Let's go. We're hyped for UFC Houston.